Today we're going to explore the inner fortifications of Copenhagen. It is not like when we explored the outer ramparts. No, it is not the old forts, but there are a treasure or two to be found in here. So let's find those treasures and see what the inner fortifications hold. We're going to start out here at the world-renowned restaurant Noma in Copenhagen. Noma stands for Nordisk Mad, or in English, Nordic food. It has been named the world's best restaurant 4 years in a row, and it is not hard to see why. Head chef René Redzepi and his team offers a unique dining experience out here, focusing on local fresh ingredients, focusing on the Danish traditional kitchen in a modern interpretation. Located in an old warehouse in the outermost edges of the Copenhagen district of Christians Harbour, the restaurant offers a minimalistic interior with focus on the food. The minimalistic interior makes it possible for you to just focus on eating the food and getting the sensory experience from that. But Noma is much more than just a restaurant. It is a team of chefs, researchers, and food enthusiasts that keeps pushing the boundary of the culinary experience. So the menu will change from season to season, keep on this pushing of the boundaries, making it a new experience every time you come here. So if you're looking for culinary adventure, a chance to experience world-renowned food, then Noma is a must visit along the inner fortifications of Copenhagen. Just make sure to book a table well in advance. At the time of recording, I can only book a table 3 months into the future. So as soon as you know you're going to Copenhagen, go into their website and book a table. I will link the website in the description. But let's head for the next destination. Also a must-see thing along the inner fortification. So let's see what it is. Just around the corner from Noma, we find our second must-see thing along the fortifications of Copenhagen. It is the Free City of Christiania. The Free City of Christiania was founded in 1971 by hippies and activists. They wanted another way of living, away from mainstream society. They wanted a way focused on self-governance. They wanted a way to focus on alternative ways of living and creativity. And that was, well, the foundation that formed what is today the Free City of Christiania. Over the years, the Free City of Christiania has evolved into a self-proclaimed autonomous zone in the heart of Copenhagen. It is a zone focused on communal living, joint ownership. It's a society focused on everybody chips in to create a bigger part of the whole. Today, Christiania has over 800 people living here. It has evolved into a tourist attraction where people from all walks of life come here to experience the alternative architecture, the street art, and of course the organic living, which is, well, in high value here. But Christiania has not only been formed on peace, love and harmony. Over the years there has been, well, challenges with the authorities. There has been, well, looked down on Christiania as a place of crime. There's been many bad things said about Christiania, and of course the community has worked in recent years to address this, which makes it a more harmonious and culturally accepted place. And this is also why you should come here. It is so alternative to mainstream living today. Despite its ups and downs, Christiania remains a testament to what community can do, and that is why you should visit it. And of course, it is a great and joyful experience. Just remember to leave your prejudice at the gate, because in here there's no room for prejudice. There's room for community, there's room for an open dialogue, there's room for so much more. But if you have any preconceptions, leave them at the gate. And remember, when you visit, to be respectful of the community, the society, and the rules in here. And remember, there's a zone where you don't take pictures, so take your camera away when you see the do not take picture signs. Time to remove a myth. I often hear that cannabis is legal at Christiania. That is not true. It is tolerated to a degree. It is not legal. The tolerated to a degree does not make it legal. and the police clamp down on it ever so often, and it is quite violent. One of the great things I love to do when walking out here at Christiania is to enjoy the architecture. It is such an enjoyment to see how a creative mind can create such special architecture as you find out here. And I will not show you it all because you have to come out here and see it for yourself. We have left Christiania. We are now walking along the inner fortifications of Copenhagen. And on these fortifications there is a special thing. There is a playground, yeah. And why is that so special? It's the playground right next to me. It is because it is staffed. Yes, it's a staffed playground. It doesn't mean that you just can drop off your kid and they will take care of it. No, it means that there is staff there to help if a kid gets hurt, but also to make sure that the equipment is not, well, destroyed. You can also borrow equipment such as bats and balls, which makes it possible for you to do a lot of play. Just remember to return it afterwards and remember to, well, treat it with respect. But going further along, this is a great place to walk just to get a little bit away from the busy Copenhagen, because you can almost not hear Copenhagen here. Of course, you can hear an airplane once in a while and sometimes a car, because there is a road right down there. So the road is just next to you, but you don't hear it as much, and this is actually quite relaxing. And I actually think we're going to find our lunch spot along the inner fortifications, but then let's see if it's open. If not, well, we'll find something else interesting to eat. If you walk down on the streets along the inner fortifications, you will see these. These are the old World War II bunkers. They were reused from the old fortification bunkers, so they have been reused for bunkers a lot of times. But it was here that the citizens of Copenhagen, they could crawl down, or the citizens of Christianshavn or Christianshavn, they could crawl down, they could hide from the bombs during World War II. Alright, so I have just finished lunch here at Café Rødshave. It's a great Danish, well, tavern is the closest word you can have for it, and there's a great innkeeper in there, but you cannot rush him. He do things in his pace. So if you are going to eat there, you are going to experience true Danish hygge. But true Danish hygge comes at the expense that if you are going to hurry on to the next things, don't. Because it took us around half an hour to get the bill. Yeah, and it was not that it wasn't cozy, it was just that he was walking around in his own pace. There were a lot of people, and well, but the food was just great. And it is Danish smørbrød, or small Danish dishes such as pariserbøf, which is Paris beef. So I do recommend that you go in and try that restaurant. The fortifications might not have been used as fortifications for over 100 years, but what they have been used for are, well, great experiences, walk, stroll. The citizens of Copenhagen have used them throughout time to, well, be the place that they can go for a walk when it is not in wartime. But that also means that these paths are great to walk at, and there are a great infrastructure. It's even handicap friendly to a degree. If you have a wheelchair along, just be, well, mindful that, well, it is a dirt path, but it is possible to come out here with most wheelchairs. So we have reached the final part of the visible fortifications, but we will still keep on following the fortifications through Copenhagen. But when we reach the other side of the Copenhagen Harbour, well, then it is not as visible where the fortification is, so I will point out to you some of the great places there are along the fortifications and how it has impacted Copenhagen and how it has formed another, well, great area for Copenhagen citizens and tourists alike. While walking along on this side of the Copenhagen Harbour, we don't see any fortifications because it's over 100 years ago they were removed from most of this part, but in a moment we will get up to a place where you can, well, see a small part of the fortification is still left there, and it has been used for something great. It has been used for something with great amusement. So give me a second and I'll be up there and we can talk about it. Tivoli, but it's of course closed today because I'm recording too early in the year. The amusement park was founded in 1843, which makes it one of the world's oldest amusement park, and it has the world's oldest wooden roller coaster with manned brakes, which means there's no automated brakes, there is a man holding the brakes. One of the reasons you should go in behind this fence and visit Tivoli is for its architecture, the beautiful gardens, for the fun of it. Yeah, it's an amusement park, so you should visit it for the fun of it. In Tivoli you will find a little lake. That lake is actually part of the old, well, moat on the fortifications. So yeah, the beautiful architecture and landscape in there is a product of the old fortifications in Copenhagen. One of the things Tivoli is known for, besides being an old amusement park, is its flowers. It has over 100,000 flowers arranged in beautiful, unique ways, so you should go in there and look for those flowers, because it is such a unique sight that you will only find in here. Besides the fun rides, there's a lot of carnival attractions in there, such as a shooting tent, or there's actually a couple of them. And furthermore, this park was built at first as something that could be taken down quickly because it was built on the fortifications, and at that time the fortifications were still active, but there were no walls, so it was built to be taken down, put up, taken down, put up. That is where it has its carnival roots. In the middle of Copenhagen, in the middle of where there is cars on all sides, we find an old ruin. Yeah, that old ruin is not part of the fortification. It was actually covered up by the fortifications, yes. It was first unearthed again when the municipality, they took down the old ramparts, and then they found this. An old ruin from the old defenses of Copenhagen from way before we built the ramparts. While most visitors to the Ørsted Park don't think about it, it's actually part of the old inner fortifications. And that's why it has its hills, its little lake. The lake is actually part of the old moat, and the hills are part of the old ramparts. So yeah, it is actually part of the old fortifications. It is, well, the outermost part. And that is what makes this area so special. It is a great place to walk, and I'm sorry if I'm just looking around. I just have to make sure I don't walk into anything. In this park you will find statues, you will find peace, you will find calmness. And yeah, I know I talk a lot about peace and calmness, but that's because if you're on vacation in Copenhagen or live in Copenhagen, it is often quite noisy and stressful. But walking in here, you get removed from the city without being totally distant. It is such a great experience, it's such a great break. So when you're out visiting museums or looking at other things and you need, I need a break, I need someplace calm, Ørsted Park. And now you know it's part of the old fortifications. There's even a great playground here if you have kids along, so remember, Ørsted Park. But we'll head for another little park that is also very special and is also part of the old fortifications. So stick with me and see to the end. And by the way, if you like this content, a like to this video will be appreciated. The Botanical Garden of Copenhagen is back from the 1600. Yeah, it's from year 1600. So it's over 400 years old. Today it spans over 10 hectares of land. It's quite a big botanical garden and has a big variety in plants from all over the world. The unique features of the botanical garden comes from the fact that it is placed on the old ramparts, the old fortifications of Copenhagen. So the hills you see and the water is actually part of the old fortifications. Originally, the botanical garden was built as a medical garden just on the inside of the old fortifications. But as Copenhagen started to grow and the fortifications were put out of commission, the botanical garden expanded to the 10 hectares of land it occupies today. Today the botanical garden is a living museum with plants all over, with a big arboretum, with a palm house. The palm house is such a special thing to see. It is the only place in here that has a commission to enter, but it's free. The rest of the botanical garden is free. And if you want more free experiences, then check out these 24 places that is free and walkable in Copenhagen.